People think because the reason why I got into this content is because I'm one of these red pill manosphere content creators or whatever else. And their focus is more into intersexual dynamics and relationships. I do talk about that a lot, but the primary focus of that and the conversations I have about that is I think that's where a lot of men lose themselves, lose their souls, lose their identity, lose their autonomy, lose their purpose, and go into a state of deterioration. You see, when I used to work the job years ago, I retired from law enforcement 5 years ago, and I do my own little personal things with business and investment and whatever else. But if people think it was about women or pre-owned box or dating and relationship, I give the advice. It really is about men's mental health and men's self-esteem. I have to use women because women are the weak spot for a lot of men, especially in the West. Men raised in this gynocentric gynocracy, where they're programmed, whether it be through Hollywood, whether it be through upbringing. And I made videos about this simp virus that they try to implant in all of us. For the last 70 plus years, they've been attacking manhood and masculinity, the evil patriarchy, beating men down to uplift women systematically with policy, with politics, with everything in this society, where men are even afraid to be men. Even in their own houses, they try to diminish the leadership of men, undermine fathers, take away the power from fathers to lead their households, to lead their community, to even lead in the educational system, where they want to indoctrinate our kids into a belief system that is not ours. I've been married, divorced, raised my kids successfully, and my kids are all doing well. I have boys. And people believe that people are these loser guys who can't get boxed. I mean, as an athlete, as a guy who's a businessman and whatever else of the past, a guy with a law enforcement career, a guy who's retired now, people look at me and they're like, well, even a guy, like, I walk out the car, like, people think I'm a short guy. I'm like, it doesn't matter whether you're short or long. It don't matter. We're all eating out of the same trash can. But I'm like 6'7", 6'8". I'm never invisible to women. I just don't give a rat's ass about what they think about me or even acquiring them. It's easy to get women for me. I just don't want to be bothered most of the time. This irritation. A life without irritation. Not all women are like that. There's some good women out here. The 10% women actually bring peace into your life. I'm around women all the time, all day long. Women have their world over there. You see, I try to focus men's content about the men. I don't try to make it about anybody else, because the moment I bring women into this channel, women into this space, it becomes about women. The thirsty dudes that validate their lives through women, that they can't see their existence, that are thirsty for box, that they say, oh, I'll find that diamond in the rough, whatever else. But they fall back into the same trap of men and their masculinity, their identity, their self-esteem, their validation, which society has forced upon us, comes to women. The same guy who jumps in front of the Exceller, and I'm out at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night looking for his leg, or the first guy who deleted himself when I first started the job. He parks up on the bridge, he walks around his Chevy pickup, and he jumps into the river. First buoy goes down, second buoy goes down, his body's gone. So you've been on the river in the middle of the night looking for a dude. And that's why I have my Wawa coffee. It's me, my Wawa coffee, and maybe an old-fashioned donut in the middle of the night looking for your missing body. That's how I got into this content. Not because of women and pre-owned and boxed and all this other bullshit I be talking about all the time. I talk about that stuff because it's men's weaknesses. Men's weaknesses that take them down, that make them lose their autonomy, that make them stop taking care of themselves, that make them go into that state of mental health deterioration because they don't value their own life, because they base how they take care of their bodies and their health around women. Women, that's it. They don't take care of themselves. They focus everything, work themselves to death. 80, 90 hours a week. To what? To perform for women that don't give a rat's ass about their health, their well-being. Not all women. I said it again. I make exception for the 10% women. A peaceful life is not anti-relationship. I am pro-happiness, pro-peace, anti-torture. If you're married, you're good. And you're with a good woman that's taking care of you and putting a smile on your face. And there's reciprocation, where she cares about your health, your mental health, your mental well-being. A woman that really values you is not going to want to see you working your ass to death to take part in this materialism out here. She's going to value, so where you been, honey, you know? She's going to value you. She's just going to want to be with you. She don't care if you riding in a old 2004 car that's paid off or the brand new Mercedes Benz. She just wants to be with you, and she doesn't want you dead. And most guys, they talk about so many stuff. Most men die alone. Trust me, I've done many unattended deaths. They die alone. Many people, they have heart attacks, strokes. They shit their pants. Most men have massive heart attacks. Even women that I've dealt with, they die alone. We're gonna die alone. Get that out of here. Get that off the table. Old people, when you get older, people even sleep in separate bedrooms. And many people pass in the middle of the night alone. So get that off the table. It's about the journey that matters, the journey of life. You focus on the after, the death, and all that other stuff. Focus on the journey of life and the value you get out of life while you're on this planet. So that's what got me into this type of content. Not because I want to teach you how to game some women. You know, that shit drives me mad. And that has poisoned men's content. These bitch-ass pickup artists and these guys trying to play. I don't play any games with women. You get on a peaceful life plan, or you kick rocks. I don't got no time for that bullshit. There's only 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. I don't have time to be gaming no women. Any man over 30 talking about gaming women, is something wrong with his mental health and self-esteem. Either she's down with the plan, or find somebody else who actually legitimately is down with you. Yeah, you have to understand female nature. Yeah, you have to understand how women operate. Those things are facts. You understand a certain level of game, mostly self-protective game nowadays, but if you have leverage and options and power and strength and self-esteem, you're not going to tolerate a lot of bullshit in life anyhow. So I got no time to play games with women. I mean, time is too precious, man. Like here, I'm sitting down, enjoying this cup of coffee, the beauty of the day, and, like I said, I try to talk to guys about a life that's not validated by women. All these guys will be flexing, like, get out of here. You are a jellyback simp. Just say it. You are a bitch-led dude. Dudes be bitch-led. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. But sometimes you got to deal with men and talk to men absent of women. Because what happens? They get a little bit pre-owned box, and they get, someone was trying to create or said at one time, they're one BJ away from getting back on the plantation of worshiping women instead of being a man and being strong in your masculinity and manhood and operating the same in terms of your mentality and your mindset, whether you're single or in relationships. And that's going to keep you alive. Because, again, that's enduring. Relationships come and go now, especially in this modern era. Today, you good with this chick. You might be good for this chick for 10, 15, 20 years. And just like that, she saw something on social media and boom, things change. Maybe she met somebody at work. Maybe something happened in the relationship. What are you going to do? Jump off a damn bridge? Or you're going to have to learn how to get over that shit. Adapt, rebuild, refocus, and endure through the hardships, to the difficulties. You're not going to do that unless you have the strength, the toughness, the mental toughness. So that's really what I focus on this channel. And people think like, well, I don't teach men isolation. You think I'm isolated? You're crazy. I'm always around people. My son came back home. There's all kinds of stuff going on around me. It's just that my focus when I make these videos is about manhood, masculinity, and mindset. Mindset is what matters. The way you think, the way you operate, the way how we live our life is not about focusing on primarily on women. It's about building that bark or that core that gets us through an environment that's highly toxic towards men. It's like a war on masculinity and manhood, that men have to survive and understand the tricks of the game and how the system works, because it's a system that focuses your life, your manhood, your masculinity, your resources about everything about everybody else. Well, your life is centered around everything else and everybody else, and you're not taking care of your health, you're not taking care of your mental health, your well-being. You don't even want to do anything for yourself unless it's centered around what's best for everybody else. You go into the store, you have to buy yourself a pair of shoes. You worry about what everybody else needs. Instead of I used to be like that too. I remember the years. I'd be like, shit. Oh, go in the store, you be like, oh, what everybody else needs. You don't can't even do anything for yourself. Because you see your life. And men, we naturally take care. So when I know personally that if I focus on men and pour into men, it trickles down to women. It trickles down to kids. It trickles down to everybody. Better beneficial. When you focus on women, women are selfish. What do? They go focus on the more you focus on women, the more they say to themselves, well, we don't need no man. They don't trickle down anything. They spend their money on them. They go to the salon. They're going to fly to Dubai somewhere. They go spend money on BBLs and surgery and cutting themselves up unnecessarily. They don't trickle down that money or that resources or anything else to anybody else. Men spread like a virus. Women, they're just selfish and stay to them and to put all the resources they have in themselves, you know, and take care of themselves more, spend more money on themselves. That's what they do. So when I focus on men, and men are good, and men are doing things for themselves, and men feel good, men are generous. We buy houses for family. We build wealth and resources because we want to pass down things to our kids and our legacy and things of that nature. So that's why I focus on men, because I know it improves the entire society. When men are good and when men are taken care of and when men get a reciprocation in this world. So it's not a matter of isolation. It's a matter of thinking logically and intelligently of what matters the most, which is you need to get men back into the space where they're getting reciprocation out of this society. And you're not talking about them like some type of disposable tampon that they need to just be, you know, because what happens to you? All you have is shame, disrespect, and shame, and disrespect, and shame, and disrespect. Why don't you just try treating them good? Being nice to them. How about that? How about women becoming better people? How about not telling men they got to be 10 times better? How about that? Maybe be nicer to the men. Treat them nicer. Treat them with respect. Treat them like human beings. And maybe they, in that sense, then they will, you know, not be checking out left and right. Not because these dudes don't give a rat's ass today. You know, shit. Sometimes I'm like that. Because the reward at the end of the rainbow, especially with relationships, is just an insufferable, ball-busting feminist. Nobody wants that. That's like the ultimate post-nut clarity torture, you know? And it don't matter what kind of man. Look, that's why I don't have a problem with a lot of these red pill content creators. It doesn't matter whether you're short, tall, big, small, rich, poor, in the middle, at the end, whatever. The goalpost will always be moved. Happiness comes from inside the individual. It's not your job to make women happy. They're supposed to be happy. It's not her job to make you happy. Go seek a damn mental health professional. It's not your job to be making women happy and putting... Why is she not happy? Why are you not happy? You see, people are supposed to take care of their mental health before they get into a relationship. Their mental, their financial health is supposed to be stable. But the problem with this is it's easy to hold dudes accountable for their mental health and hit them with the society, because we live, we live in a gynocentrism and matriarchy, but in many communities of matriarchies and whatever. But women, shit, they just become better victims, rebrand themselves, and now they're using the religious bullshit to try and sucker some guy and raise the price. We know what they're raising the price on. I ain't gonna get into it. But people say, you gotta be nicer, a peaceful life, you gotta be nicer. You can't call the church a vagina rebuilding center, spiritual vaginal rebuilding. I gotta stop saying that. All right, I'll stop. Yeah. Either way, they're running a scam. I see you ladies. Stop it. Stop it. You can't pray that away. You can't. Just price things reasonably. you'll get the price things reasonably to a good squared away guy, and you all work together and enjoy your life, man. Life is short. But this rebranding, stop it. Dudes with experience, especially guys that, I'm a Gen Xer, and dudes from the, that have had experience with women, in life, and understand rebranding. And you can do that in this society with social media, with delusion everywhere and all this other crap. But that shit ain't gonna work. Rebranding, like we can see, like I look at women, especially the Gen X women, and many of them that are still single. And I can see, I'm not talking about widows or women that have had unfortunate circumstances. I salute to you ladies. But I can see the souls of men they've destroyed. Literally disrespected their way out of a relationship. Most of these single women out here my age, they have disrespected their way out of relationships. And then they go over there to the church. The more their Bible thump, the more I look through their bullshit. Their Bible thumping is they're trying to get you to marry them using the Bible and get a retirement, but they want to use you as a retirement plan. They'll tell you, well, I don't have sex until marriage, so you have to marry me first, even though you're guy number 30, because they really want the financial benefits of it. So it's like they become virtuous women by rebranding themselves, use the Lord and use the church to try and say, well, you're not a spiritual man, and you're not a religious man. If you were, you would marry me. Me and my whatever package deal comes with her, and whatever mental issues come. This is a scam. They're not changed. They're no different. Women don't become better in this society today. They just become better at masking dysfunction and mental illness, and they become better victims. And then they use the church to try and con some guy into signing some deal. It's all a bullshit scam. And I try and avoid it. I say, guy, so do you look like any guy that she dated when she was 22? I mean, check the whole facts report. Look, you don't even look like them dudes. Women don't change their taste in men, they change their taste in lifestyle. Or they just age out, and they can't mess with those types of dudes no more. Give her about 2-3 years, maybe after the honeymoon phase is over, she does that rebranding. She'll be tearing your soul apart like them Hellraiser Cenobite demons, because she hates you. Because she has to have sex with you. She is not attracted to you. That's the problem with this rebrand, that religious stuff. It doesn't last. And all of a sudden, she stops going to church after she secures that bag, that retirement plan. She don't go to church no more. And you're like, oh shit. She start hanging out with her girls more. Because they all sat down and talked about you. They say, well, you know what? He's got a good pension. He has a good job. He has a good income. I mean, he don't look too bad. I guess I can sleep with him. But that shit runs out. Eventually, she's going to want what she wants. That sex is going to dry up. It's going to be like a situation where she's online thirsting for the man she wants, or the guy that she wants. He's probably at the job. He's probably working he's probably, no disrespect to the brother that's the cleaner. He's probably the cleaner. He don't make as much money as you, but that's her sexual select preference. He's still going to tap that while you're paying all the bills. These things are going on all around us. And so for me, I prepare men for the mental aspect of that. And I tell them not to be some woman's rescue plan. And I give them the signs of the type of woman that plays those games. Look at her report. Look at her history. It's all a grift. It's all bullshit. Because I don't want guys jumping off the bridge. Because I used to be that young cop looking for their bodies. So that's my purpose for this channel. It's not to create incel nation. Well, even though the incel is just a disrespect, because the only incels I see nowadays is married men. Because that's who's on OnlyFans. 90% married men. Can you imagine that? That's worse than incel. An incel I can fix like this. Hey, come here, incel. Let's go around the corner. I can put 20 bodies on an incel in a week. Solve that problem fast. But a married dude, he's trapped by the state. He can lose his kids. He can lose his resources, his retirement plan. That's an incel. The guy, he barely gets some box once a month or 2 months times a month because he married some woman that wouldn't date him when he was 21. That's an incel. He's involuntarily celibate because the state's got a gun to his head. She's got a gun to his head. That if she catches him pounding some 304 around the corner, she's going to take all his shit. That's an incel. That's a hostage. That's a real incel. You're a hostage, man. She don't perform no more. She don't even take care of herself no more. And she stopped going to that church. Now her girlfriends come in and you listening to all this bullshit, and they don't have no respect for men. Shit, they're talking souls themselves. Now you're in a relationship with them Cenobite demons from Hellraiser. And there's a coalition of them that surrounds you. And you're sitting at the table eating dinner with jelly-back married simps, men who women have basically taken their balls, clipped it, put it in a jar, hid it behind the peas and rice. And you're sitting with all these bitch-ass dudes, and you know their masculinity is gone. These men are compromised, droids, walking zombies. They're married. To the world, they look like the perfect example of success. And they look like they're winning. And then they go jump off the bridge, and I got to go deal with that bullshit. Because they don't tell, men suffer in silence. They don't tell the truth about their suffering, their misery. You see the guy, he's walking hand in hand with a woman. You don't realize that he hasn't had sex in 3 months? But he's working his ass off, paying bills, providing, protecting, looking out for that woman. That's the guys I used to find all the time with Dad. I mean, and not until this heroin thing kicked up. Then the ODs became a problem. Rough, man. I remember those days of doing those, chest compressions is a violent thing. Sometimes ribs break, but that's a whole nother story. Maybe that's another video. But when you're doing, when you're a first responder and you're doing that BLS stuff, man, I tell you. And obviously the compression to rescue breaths ratio changes all the time. They change it all. Now, one time you don't have to do any rescue breaths. You just get the chest compressions, get the blood flowing. But that's a whole nother story, gentlemen. That's a whole nother story. But now, you see, the dudes don't say anything. They'll be all like, they'll watch this content. They'll be suffering in silence. Absolute misery and depression. They got in this situation with some succubus demon. Lust. They fell in love with some box. They figured, well, you know what? They had the scarcity mindset. This is better than nothing. I'm invested, or they're invested with their kids. And they're like, shit. I hear what these dudes saying, but they don't understand. My money's on the line. She's got me by the balls because the state and the system, the game is rigged. Once you get into it, they got you by the balls. It ain't easy just to walk out and leave like how these dudes be talking. It's tough. As you live it, especially if you have kids and daughters and sons, dudes don't just walk away. Some dudes walk the other way, walk completely out of life. Especially when they get divorced or go through these hardships, because society puts a tremendous amount of pressure on men. So I think that's why my channel resonates with a lot of men. And I don't get I'm, some fake content creator, sitting in his basement somewhere. I have a professional career. I do have crisis intervention certification and education and background. People don't understand that men's choices, especially in this environment, comes with a tremendous amount of consequences. That's just life. Again, there's no solutions. They're only trade-offs. And you have to be proactive because nobody is going to care. You make a bad decisions, you pick a woman that's jacked up, these dudes don't give a damn. There's nobody coming to save you. And that's what I prepare men for. Nobody's coming to save you. Your friends and everybody else, the married people, the married couples like you, they don't want to catch that divorce virus. Dudes change up on you, or you're no longer a part of the group now because your old lady ain't working out. The dudes change up on you. They build a coalition. Because many times with these guys before divorces, the divorce happens before the divorce happens. By the time it get to the point where you go in legal action, she's already assassinated your character with her family, with her friends, with your friends, with society, with social media. She's sold everybody on what a monster you are. I could imagine what women be saying about Peaceful Life. He's a monster. He's a demon. Look at his channel on YouTube. They probably hate women. No, I love women. I understand their nature. But no, I love the ladies. Especially the 10% women. And I put it to 10%. But they've already assassinated your character. They've already made you a monster. And they made themselves a victim. How many women have you met that have not been a victim? And their ex or the men around them were these degenerate monsters. They're probably cheating, and that's just the way it is. That's the game, the way it is. So I say, if you know how the game is and how the game rolls, then all you have is the choice is adapt and do and know what to avoid. And keep it moving. Because anytime you complain as a man, they say, well, that's your poor choices, buddy. They're not gonna hold anybody else, even if you've done wrong, done dirty. That's why I always recommend my brother to coach your condition. At least you have a masculine male therapist you can have a conversation with, separate from everybody else. Because many times people are not listening to your problem. They're collecting data and ammunition to crucify your ass at a later date. Secretly, they were praying for your downfall. And you just gave them ammunition. Look at this dude over here. Look at him. He's taking massive L's. They've been waiting for that shit. They may have seen you and your old lady walking around, and, the sin of envy is powerful. People can resent you and wait for your downfall. Some of the people got family members and friends that right now can't stand your guts. They're not going to tell you they hate your guts. They're going to be in the back of their mind and be like, motherfucker, I can't wait till this bastard falls. Anyhow, don't get too deep into that shit. Maybe we'll have a conversation about life. But life is to be enjoyed, man. And this video goes a long way because, again, I don't really like to do reaction videos because some people make content. I am content. As a 51-year-old guy, I'll be 52 this year. I've lived long enough. And to be honest with you, I don't give a rat's ass, to be honest with you, about much shit. Because I've played the structural rules of the command. I've played this game. You can't bullshit me. Married dudes can't bullshit me. These content creators out tear their souls apart. You can't. I will find you. Most of these dudes are fake. You put a private eye on most of these dudes, you'll find them doing all kinds of bullshit that they tell you not to do. you will open up Simtopia. Like, oh shit. And you gotta have blunt on. I give men the blunt, honest truth. And let them decide for themselves. I don't tell you what to do. I'll just tell you, here's the deal. As far as what I can see, my perspective. You could probably say a peaceful life, you're batshit crazy. I ain't listening to that shit. But you have a choice. But it's unfiltered, honest truth. It's just what, or truth from my perspective. What I see, what I observe in the environment, absent of what I feel. No religion. I don't add religion. I don't add any of that shit into it. Because at the end of the day, people can pontificate whatever kind of religion. My mentality is show me the Jesus and how you move. Don't tell me about Jesus. Let me see Jesus in you. Yeah, I'm watching your Jesus behavior. I'm watching your spiritual Christian behavior. I don't want to hear nothing about what your religion is. Show me the religion in your life. Show me your spirituality and how you move. Anybody can say any kind of bullshit. Blowing hot air ain't telling me damn thing about you. Show me what you're doing. Let me see. Let me see what you do. Let me see how you treat people. Let me see how you move in your life. You move with honesty and respect and decency. Are you fair and balanced? When you don't feel well, how do you behave when you're angry? When you're upset with somebody? When shit don't go your way? Are you still fair and balanced? Do you stab people in the back? That tells me more about your religion than quoting me scriptures. That'd make me a believer. Because I've come up with a belief system of believe nothing what you hear and half of what you see. The evidence is all I care about me. The visual evidence of what I observe. Facts and information confirms. I like facts. Observable reality. But that's just me. Anyhow, I've talked too much. I'm supposed to be in the gym by now. Peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm out.